Hey guys, my name's Euclar the DM, and if you're watching today's video, I might be one of your first DMs, and that's because if you've read the title, we're going to be going over the fastest way to make your first D&D character. Let's get into it. So if we want to make a character in the fastest way possible, this is assuming we just want to maybe not even necessarily understand every part of the character. We just want to get something completed on the paper, ready to play as fast as possible. Then the first thing we want to do is go to dndbeyond.com. They have a character builder that's amazing, so let's go ahead and do that now. So you'll go to D&D Beyond, and I'm going to do this with you, and you'll go here, and you won't be signed in, so you just be at D&D Beyond. So you'll go to register, and you'll sign up an account here. And so once you have your account signed in, then from there you can go on actually building a character. So I'm going to go ahead and create an account. I'll let you do that yourself. It should be pretty simple, and then we'll meet back here. So you've made your account, you've logged in, and you're presented with this wonderful homepage here. You can watch some videos with Brennan Lee Mulligan.
That's what they talk like. They do emojis over their head and light. That's all I want. Give me this little weirdo.
There's a bunch of other new things. I definitely recommend checking out all of this stuff because any of the news like D&D stuff, anything brand new, it's probably going to hit here first. But what we're interested in is this create a character, which is nicely displayed right here. And D&D Beyond makes this extremely easy, especially for creating your first one. Now, maybe I shouldn't have titled this video the fastest way, because the fastest way to create a character would probably be to choose a pre-made, or if we're actually still creating it would probably be to do this quick build. But let's do a standard actual character creation just so you can kind of walk through that and see what it looks like. And one of the things they do have here on D&D Beyond is they'll have this beginner help text, so you can use that to help you as well. And it'll just kind of point things out to you as you walk through. So this will give you kind of some more information. I do suggest that you look through and read through this a little bit before you continue on. But it's just kind of general stuff about the character builder and kind of things to think about before you start creating your character. And this is where we actually start getting into some of the settings and things that we're going to use. They do have fantasy name generator here, so you can use some random names if you're having trouble. Let's go ahead and do laborious. No, let's do Dontron. Dontron sounds cool. Okay, and so sources, this is going to decide from what books and selections can your stuff be chosen from. When you're first starting out, likely you'll only have access to homebrew and a few other things, but maybe potentially not all of the sources here, because you may just not have purchased those yet. But essentially a lot of these things probably aren't going to make a lot of sense to you at first. And if you're creating this character for a campaign, I definitely suggest talking over some of these settings with your DM, because a lot of them are going to be based on kind of what they would want to have. It's the way that you're leveling, whether it be milestone XP. And again, the more you play, the more these settings are going to mean to you. So this will be where you choose your race, and you get a racial traits, ability score increase. And again, this is all stuff that I believe is only included when you do that help for info check at the beginning. And so it'll kind of just walk you through the very bare minimum you need to quickly put a character together. As we click next, we're going into this race selection here. And again, I have a decent amount of content bought on the D&D Beyond website, so I likely have more stuff, unless you just happen to have D&D Beyond and haven't created a character yet for some reason.
Why the fuck would anyone do that? Huh? Would you do that? Oh, exactly.
What do we want to be? Ooh, donkey are cool. Let's be a goblin. We are running I'm preparing a Eberron campaign right now. That'll be on startplaying.games if anybody's interested in joining the campaign. It will be up for anybody to join. Let me actually move this over here so I can see it better. Here, it was just sitting a little bit different on my screen. All right. And so, yeah, you can go through this and you'll be able to look at like your ability score increases. Like, what do you get based off the fact that you're a goblin? Like, what's your size, your movement speed? He has dark vision. So that means even in like complete darkness, he can still see 60 feet in dim light. Fey ancestry, like it's just all the advantages or disadvantages you get based on the fact that you chose goblin as your race. If there's any extra things that you need to select, they'll be here, and this is kind of just like a confirmation screen. All right, and so on this screen, you'll be selecting your class. Let's just choose something really basic. And these are going to be like archetypes and things that you've probably heard where you can kind of discern what they are, but again, clicking on one will give you a little bit more information. And let's just be a barbarian. Like, just imagine like a little goblin just being like, ah! And just oh boy. Well, I guess if we're talking like Eberron goblins, if they're in Sharn or something, they might be like some gangster goblins. All right, and so on this next screen, we need to do 2 proficiencies. And so it's going to show you immediately like, hey, this is highlighted. You need to choose these. These are things that you need to choose. These are basically skills. And when you choose to be proficient in those skills, you're going to get a bonus applied to them. Your proficiency bonus is going to be applied to that skill when you roll it, which will give you an extra couple plus points to your roll when you were rolling that dice. And I think we're going to be athletic. And let's be able to survive the harsh wastes if we need to. All right, so the next thing we need to do is determine ability scores. I always do manual / rolled. That's just essentially what I've always done. Everybody I've ever played with has done. I think most people do either the point buy or manual. I don't really see a ton of people doing the standard array. Okay, so now we're actually clicking over to look at our ability scores. And so we're going to roll one, and it's actually going to roll 4d6, and you're going to do that 6 times. All right, so then we have to pick where we want to put those. Since we're a barbarian, we want to be very strong. We want to have plenty of health. It'd be good to be rather dexterous as 2. And then I'd rather be, I don't care how ugly I am. That's just fine. Okay, looking strong. We might be a little rough around the edges, but we are going to beat people up. So let's apply those ability scores. And then we get some ability score increases, so we need to choose that option. I think I'm going to choose increase 2 scores. And I am going to choose strength to increase by 2 and con to increase by 1. And I think that will be very strong then. I'll have almost an 18 strength. A tough goblin. Okay, and then this is where we choose our background. So when selecting our background, you're going to have a few different options. Again, if you have a new account where you don't really have any D&D Beyond gear selected, you'll only have the SRD or the standard basic rules. So you're only going to have, I think, the Acolyte here. But if you have a few different things bought on D&D Beyond, as you'll see here, then you potentially have more options available to you. So we'll choose this, and that gives us house connections, suggested characteristics, just a bunch of different traits that they could possibly have. And again, you could spend as little or as much time as you want on this. It can be very quick to create. And then your starting equipment, this is going to be something you have to discuss with your game master as to how you guys are choosing your gold and other equipment. So that's done though. So we don't have any current starting equipment because we didn't select any, but that's just because we don't have a game master to talk to, I guess, unless we're talking to ourselves. I guess we should click on view our character sheet. And there we have Dantran. And let's go ahead and, is there any available here? Like, oh, I should have chose like something to fill. And I think you can actually choose a fill-in sheet there. But regardless, here's Dan Tran, our goblin, done very quickly. And you could have done this without any access to any of the books, without any help at all. Got this entire character sheet set up by just clicking that create a character right there on the front page. So this is, I think, by far the fastest, easiest way to create your first D&D character. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, or subscribe. And if you want to be a part of any of my D&D games, go ahead and check out my page on Start Playing Games. Start Playing Games. The link will be in the description below. Later on, guys.